All right, so the big day happened. Your new software is live. The launch was a success, the team's celebrating, but now that the dust is settling, there's this huge question that starts hanging over every single meeting. Now what? Okay, let's dive into this, because you know what? Launching isn't the finish line, it's the starting gun for the real race, the one where you create lasting value.
And this quote? It just nails that post-launch feeling, doesn't it? It's that moment you switch from the thrill of the launch to the day-to-day reality of managing a living, breathing digital asset. In this explainer, we are going to build a clear roadmap to answer that exact question.
Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll hit you with a post-launch reality check. Then, we're going to build a solid framework to get everything under control. We'll get real about the financial truth of software, shift from just maintaining to actually building momentum, and finally, we'll land at a huge strategic crossroads you'll have to face. Okay, part one, the reality check. You know, those first 3 months after you launch, they are a crucible. This is where your perfectly designed, beautifully coded software smacks right into the messy, unpredictable world of real users. We like to call it the performance gauntlet. And believe me, the stakes could not be higher. Just look at these numbers. They show you just how unforgiving your users are. 40%, almost half, will uninstall your app if it performs poorly. And an absolutely staggering 80% will walk away after just one bad experience, and they're probably never coming back. This isn't just some tech problem, folks. It's a direct threat to your revenue and your reputation. So, how do you get out of that reactive mode, constantly fighting fires, and start taking strategic control? Well, the answer is having a structured framework. Let's dig into the 4 pillars of software maintenance. This is really what separates the pros from the amateurs. First up, the pillar everyone knows, corrective maintenance. This is your classic bug squashing. A user finds a problem, you react, you fix it. It is absolutely essential. You got to keep the lights on, but it's purely reactive. If this is all you're doing, you're falling behind. Next, we've got adaptive maintenance. Now we're being proactive. Think about when a new version of iOS comes out, or a service you depend on suddenly changes how it works. Your software has to adapt to stay compatible with this constantly changing world. If it doesn't, it's going to be obsolete before you know it. Now this is where the magic happens. Pillar 3, perfective maintenance. This is where you actually evolve your product. You're rolling out new features your customers are asking for, you're improving performance, you're making the whole experience better. Let me be clear. This is the pillar that directly adds new value and drives your growth. And finally, we have preventative maintenance. Think of this as future-proofing your investment. It's the behind-the-scenes stuff like cleaning up code or improving documentation. The user never sees it, but this is what makes it easier, faster, and cheaper to build all those cool new features down the road. So, how should all this work together? Well, take a look at an ideal maintenance mix for a healthy product. The biggest slice of the pie, a full 35%, is dedicated to perfective maintenance. That's the work that adds value and grows the business. The other parts are important, but if your team is spending, say, 70% of its time just fixing bugs, that's a massive red flag that your product isn't evolving, it's just surviving. And for all you business leaders out there, this table really connects the dots. It translates the technical work into strategic purpose. See? Corrective is about reliability. Adaptive is about viability. Preventive reduces future costs. But perfective? That is all about your competitive edge. Okay, time to talk money. Because to plan any of this effectively, you have to look way beyond that initial price tag. You have to understand the real financial truth of your software, what we call the total cost of ownership, or TCO. And here is the single most important rule you need to burn into your brain. That initial development cost, it's just the tip of the iceberg. The data consistently shows that ongoing maintenance and evolution makes up a whopping 80% of the total cost of owning software over its entire life. This visual right here makes it painfully clear that development cost you spent months negotiating, it is dwarfed by the massive hidden costs that come later. If you're not budgeting for the whole iceberg, you are, quite frankly, planning to fail. And here's a big reason why that iceberg is so huge. The cost to fix a bug isn't a straight line, it's exponential. A little bug that would have cost $100 to fix back in the design phase, that same bug can easily cost you over $10,000 to fix once it's live in front of your customers. And that's not even counting the damage to your reputation. All right, so we've laid down a stable foundation. Now it's time to switch from playing defense to playing offense. Let's talk about how to turn all this maintenance work into a powerful engine for continuous evolution and build some unstoppable momentum.
The engine that drives this is a cultural shift called DevOps. So you can forget the old way where developers build something and just throw it over the wall to the operations team. In the DevOps world, they work together as one team, sharing ownership for the whole shebang. That collaboration is the secret sauce that lets you move fast and stay reliable.
And this new culture is powered by modern tech. The absolute foundation is something called Docker. Now, for a business leader, all you really need to know is this. Docker wraps up your software in a neat little standardized container so it runs exactly the same no matter where it is. It completely gets rid of that expensive, time-wasting, well, it worked on my machine problem.
So if Docker makes the containers, Kubernetes is the air traffic control system that manages them all. It's the powerhouse that automates everything, deployment, scaling, management, for potentially thousands of containers at once. This is what gives your business that incredible scalability and resilience everyone's talking about.
Now we have to talk about the silent killer of innovation, technical debt. Think of it like a hidden mortgage on your agility. Every shortcut you take today, you pay for with interest later. Now, the goal isn't to have zero debt. That's unrealistic. It's to manage it on purpose. You identify it, you dedicate 10 to 20% of your effort to paying it down, and you put systems in place to stop creating more of it.
So all of this, it leads to a final critical decision. You have this complex, valuable, living asset. Who is going to manage it? This right here is your strategic crossroads. Do you build out an in-house team, or do you find an expert partner?
And you need to know the whole conversation around this has changed. A few years ago, outsourcing was just about saving money. But look at the data today. The number one reason companies do it now is something way more strategic. It's about getting access to specialized talent. It's a move to get capabilities you just can't build or find on your own.
This table really lays out the trade-offs for you at a leadership level. An in-house team? Yeah, you get direct control, but it comes with really high fixed costs, and let's be honest, hiring top-tier talent is incredibly hard. An expert partner, on the other hand, gives you instant access to a deep bench of specialists and lets you scale up or down as needed, all while your team stays focused on your core business. In the end, your entire strategy really boils down to this one single question. Is building and running a world-class technology team actually your core business? Or is it a really high-stakes bet that you're making? A bet that you can do it better than a company that does nothing else? Is that a bet you can truly afford to lose?